memorabilia. At 9, a new episode of Kitty Bartholomew Your Home begins tonight's Design at 9 with Country in the City. Then at 9:30, Design at 9 continues with an all-new HomeWise. Learn how to build a cookbook stand for a functional kitchen. At 10, our new show, If Walls Could Talk, shows you an historic New York home with a cannonball in the wall. And at 10:30, it's an all-new dream house. The Sandbergs get a look at the architect's plans and meet their builder. It's all tonight on Home and Garden Television.
You're watching HGTV Daytime, right here on Home and Garden Television.
Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton, the house doctor. Welcome once again to the House Doctor, the program that helps you fix up your home or apartment. If you're buying, selling, or just thinking of giving your house its yearly tune-up, join me and a professional house inspector as we search for clues that could warn of potential problems. But first, when a couple wrote asking for help in installing a motion-activated outdoor light, well, I paid them a house call. So what's the story on these?
Well, I bought these for my wife about 3 years ago for her birthday present. And then the following year, I said that I'd install them for her birthday present. And as of yet, I haven't installed them.
Still in your hand.
Yes, yes. So I'd like some help.
All right. So where are you going to put them?
On each side of the garage, one on each side of the garage.
Huh?
And we were looking at it, and we thought that right about here would be nice.
Okay. Well, this is Bob, and this is the case of the 3-year-old birthday gift. All right, let's start by finding the power source inside the garage. You want to show me where the nearest outlet is?
Sure, it's right over this way. The power's right over here.
Oh, good, good. This has got a GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter, already installed here. That means any wiring that we put downstream of this will be protected by the same GFCI. I like that since the lights are outside. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to propose, all right? I think we're going to take the wiring from this box down this wall here. Now, this is the inside of the wall where we're going to mount the first light, right up here. So we'll go up this wall, put a second box here, go through the wall. That'll give us our power for the first light. Then across the top of the garage door over on this side, and we'll go through the wall over there for the second one. All right? Now, that's just about in the center of this wall. Okay, Bob, take a look here. How's that look for height?
Good.
Okay? All right, great. All right, now what we're going to do to begin is take a 3/4 inch carbide bit. I'm going to drill through this stucco until I get down to the sheathing below, and then we'll change bits to a wood bit. Well, I've changed bits now to an electrician's bell hanger bit. I want to go all the way through the inside wall right now, okay? And then we'll know exactly where this wire will be coming out of the inside. Well, this is home improvement. We came right through this brace right here. So, Bob, come here a second, will you? Take that saw, will you, and cut this off right here at the front of the shelf. And while you're at it, cut this one off down here so we can get a nice clean run for that conduit.
Okay.
This is the electrical box that we're going to be installing in the outside wall here. Now, I'm going to place this right over the center of that hole. I made a couple of reference marks earlier so that I know where the center is. There we go. And then just put a level on here and make sure that this is, in fact, correct. Okay, now take a pen. I'm going to trace the outside of this box, like so. And in a moment here, we're going to cut this out. To cut the opening for the box, we'll start by drilling a series of small holes around the perimeter on that line that we just drew. And then, taking a coal chisel, we'll break away the stucco in between and remove the large chunks. I'm removing the rear knockout in the box that we're going to be using here. Now, this is called a cut-in box. Take a look how this works. You see there are a couple of flaps on the side right here? Well, when this goes in the wall, these flaps sort of flip out, and they grip the box on the rear side of the wall. To install this, now we want to push these up and fold them in like this. See? Get them out of the way. There we go. Then we slip the box in, just like so. And once it's in position back here, then I'm going to reach inside and flip those wings, if you want to call them that, out. And then we'll tighten this up. And as I do, then they will grip on the rear or the back side of the stucco right here. I turned the power off on this circuit and removing the cover plate right here. We're going to be extending this wiring using the same kind of thin wall metallic conduit that we have right here, sometimes called EMT, electromechanical tubing. And so let's get this out of our way and start by taking a screwdriver and placing it up against this knockout right here. We'll give the screwdriver a couple of taps with a hammer. Just knock that through, grab it with a pair of pliers, and twist it off. Now this is an offset connector, just like we've used up here on the top. The reason is this allows the conduit to run flush with the wall here. You can also accomplish the same thing by bending the tubing like we did over on this side. Let's slip this in here, put the lock nut on, and tighten it up. The next step is to hook a long piece of conduit, like this one right here, into that connector we just put into the box. However, when we get down here to this corner, we've got to make a bend. Now, there are a couple of ways to do that. One is to use a pipe bender, like this one right here. And the way this works is you simply slip it over a piece of pipe, place it on the floor, put your foot on this side, and bend this up until you've got a 90-degree angle on the pipe, just like that. Okay, and you can just remove this. And this then would go right over here, and it would fit in the corner just like this. Now, if you don't have a pipe bender and you don't want to buy one, you can get these pre-bent angles. Now, they attach to the straight runs using these set screw couplings. One side goes on the angle, one goes on the straight piece, and you just tighten the set screws like this. Now, EMT needs to be installed or should be installed level. So, see how we doing here, Bob? Bring it up a little bit more, a little more. Okay, good. Hold it right there. And it should be secured within 3 feet of every box. So this is a wall stud right here. I marked that earlier. These are single wing clips right here. And we'll just use a screw long enough to get through the sheetrock into the wood and attach it. Now the next step is to install a junction box right up here on the wall, just opposite that box outside. Now, I've already removed the rear knockout in the box. And what I'm going to do next is take a connector. This is a standard connector that's usually used for connecting conduit to these boxes. And we'll put the retaining ring on the inside. Just tighten this up. Pair of pliers, okay? And then a short piece of conduit that I've cut right here. Then another connector on the other end, okay? And we'll tighten up these set screws here so it holds everything in place. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this box with this short piece of conduit on the back and push it through this hole so at the end of it goes into the back of the box on the outside. Now, I'm going to use this retaining ring or lock nut to secure that short piece of conduit to the inside of this exterior box. Now, I'm left with about a 1/4 of an inch gap here between the edge of the box and the stucco, and because the box is only protected by this overhang, I'm going to seal that up using some stucco patch. This is a powder that I mixed with water. I'm just going to push this in here with a putty knife and give ourselves a nice tight and hopefully watertight fit. I've added a couple of offset connectors here, and I've also bent a piece of pipe to go from down here up to that box. Let's put a set screw coupling on here, slide that in there, slide the coupling on to our 90-degree angle here. There we go. And tighten up our set screws. Now, using these same fittings and bending technique, we'll extend the conduit to the other side of the garage door. Stay tuned as I finish installing the outdoor lights. And later in the show, learn how to spot some important warning signs from a professional house inspector.
Brought to you by Owens Corning, system thinking for the home.
Is someone you love getting cold feet? Don't blame Cupid, blame your floors. If your floor is over an unheated garage or crawl space, you're losing heat. Insulating your floor can help keep you comfortable and save you money all winter long. Call 1-800-GET-PINK and we'll tell you how to get started. And you can start generating a little heat of your own. Making your home energy efficient was brought to you by Owens Corning.
This is the show that started it all.
Home and Garden Television is proud to bring you This Old House Classics.
Classic craftsmanship, classic design, classic solutions.
These are the shows you know and love, with all the tips, advice, and charm of an original American masterpiece.
Everything you need to make your home a classic.
Preserving our history one old house at a time.
This Old House Classics. Tonight at 7 Eastern on HGTV, Home and Garden Television.
We've installed all the conduit and boxes that we need for our new circuit from here all the way out to the front of the house and over the garage door. Now, we do have one problem here, and that is we need some way to turn these lights on and off manually. Even though these lights have automatic motion detectors in them, you'll still want to be able to turn them on with a switch if you need to. So while we could put that switch anywhere in that line that we just put in, Bob feels it would be much more convenient to have it back here next to this switch, which controls the light outside this door. So what we're going to do is we're going to install a second box right here, put the switch in that. But to do that, I'm going to have to disassemble some of this wiring, and we have turned the power off, make sure that there's nothing here. So let's start by removing this cover plate. Well, I've removed the switch and disconnected most of the wires here, in fact, all of the wires. I also loosened the screws that are holding in this box here. Let's pull this off now. There we go. I'm just going to pull this piece of conduit loose from the box on the other end. There we go, loosen the screw there. The box comes off. I'm just going to slide this right off the wires. There we go. Excellent. Now here's our new switch box. It's going to go right here. I've already put a connector in this side. And this is a short piece of conduit. Let's put that in there and tighten up the set screw. Okay. And then this is actually the old box right here. I'm going to put the connector right there onto this side. Tighten up this set screw. There we go. Then we'll remount the old box right here. That's where it came off. Actually, before we put that on, I'm going to attach now back this piece of conduit, which I cut off to allow for this second box right here. We'll put the retaining ring on this. Oops, and then I'll tighten up the screws in this box over here. I've installed our new switch in this box right here, and these two wires right here are sharing this piece of conduit, which runs down here to this square box, and it's right here where we're going to begin the wiring run for our new outside lights. The first step in running our wires is to go from this box right here down to that box on the far wall where Bob is, and that'll then, of course, going to go out through that short piece of conduit to the light. Now, I've bundled our three wires together, black, white, and green. I'm going to just snip off the end right here so we've got a nice clean one. This is dishwashing detergent. Sometimes this will help a little bit as a lubricant, so let's put a little of this on here. Helps it slide through the conduit a little bit easier. Push them in here, and I'm going to keep shoving now until they come out at Bob's end down there. All right, Bob, go ahead and grab that wire, okay? Pull about a foot of it through. All right, now push it through the conduit going outside. Now, the run from that first box over here to the second one is pretty long. In this case, about 25 or 30 feet. Probably a little too long to push those wires through. So we're going to use this tool right here. This is called an electrician's fish tape. It's about 100 feet of really stiff wire with a loop on the end. And what I'll do is I'm going to start at the end of this conduit here inside the box, and I'm going to push this inside the conduit up over the garage door until it comes out inside that first box over there. Okay, Bob, go over to that first box, would you? This should come through any minute. You see it yet? Okay, can you pull it through? Pull about a foot through. Okay, that's good. I bundled our wires together, taped the ends like this, and stripped off the insulation on the end. I'm going to put this through the loop on the end of our fish tape, give it a couple of twists, clip off the excess right here. Now we're going to use the fish tape to pull these wires through. Okay, Bob, pull the tape back through. I'll guide this into the conduit to start with. There you go. And now he'll keep pulling until they come back out on the other side over there. Well, this is the place where we started our project. Now, if you're going to take on something like this, consult a good book on basic wiring for the details. But basically what I've done here is attach the black wires to the black, the greens to the greens, and the whites to the white to extend this circuit out to our lights. Now, there was a GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter, mounted right in this box here. Now, I've wired this circuit in such a way that the protection offered by this GFCI will extend to those new lights. Now, this is the mounting bracket for our carriage lamp. The wires go right through this hole in the center. And this is designed to attach to a standard box like we put in here with a screw on the top and the bottom. Let's put this one in first. Now, this is our new carriage lamp right here. It's got a cell right here that's both a motion detector and a photoelectric cell. And the wiring in this is pretty simple, just connecting black to black, white to white, and the green to the ground. I'm just going to twist these together like so. And because these wires are a little bit smaller, we'll be using the orange-colored wire nut here. Okay, it's on tight now. We're just going to fold these a little bit so that they go up inside the back plate here, like that. And there's a pin right here, or a post, and a hole. We want to line that up. Push the post through the hole, like so. And then, Bob, if you've got that little nut there, go ahead and screw that on. That's pretty, Bob. It picks up some of the brass detail on your house. The nice thing is now when you pull up at night in the dark, this will turn on automatically. Or if you want to override that feature, you've got that switch on the inside. So where's the birthday girl?
She's over here. Christina?
Christina, I've got something for you besides the light. That's happy birthday wishes, 3 years belated. But sometimes when you can anticipate and look forward to something like this for 3 years, it's all the much better. Huh? No? Okay. Listen, guys, thanks for having us over.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Next, go behind the scenes with a professional house inspector.
If you're a homeowner looking to save money on your current monthly mortgage, or you'd like to finance the purchase of a home, call Fidelity Funding today. Or if you're a homeowner paying $1,000 a month or more in credit card and other bills, Fidelity Funding can help reduce your monthly payments by up to 1/2 and maybe even get you some extra cash. So whether you want to purchase a home, refinance your current mortgage, or consolidate your monthly debt payments, even if you've had some past credit problems, call Fidelity Funding at 1-800-269-4100.
This is an NBC News special report.
Did we get your attention? The images of NBC News are as powerful today as the first time you saw them. At time and again, we connect the stories you are talking about today to the people and events you'll always remember. Because behind every headline, there's a little history.
Time and Again with Jane Pauley, evenings at 10 on MSNBC.
The only TV journal connecting the past with the present on MSNBC and Cox Cable.
For my everyday paint colors and combinations, I didn't just pick the colors. I picked the colors that go with the colors you pick, and they're available at Sears and Kmart.
Choose one. A, sanding and varnishing. B, a well-placed rug. C, dousing and wiping. Because it isn't wood, it isn't vinyl. It's Pergo, the revolutionary laminate floor from Sweden. The beautiful floor that stays beautiful through life's less graceful moments.
I helped my dad build this place. Well, help. I was so small I could barely swing the hammer. But he taught me a lot about tools. He used to say, you can buy cheap tools every couple of years. Or you can buy Stanley once.
Since 1843, a company from New Britain, Connecticut has been helping people do things right. Stanley.
I even take my tape roll fishing. Well, that way I'll know how big a story to tell.
On most Saturday nights since 1866, Texans head for a place called Green Dance Hall, Green, Texas. When the band sends a steamy summer night on its way, the place really cooks. But even temperatures up in the hundreds can't stop the two-steppers. Green's has a very reliable cooling system, cold beer, and Hunter ceiling fans. Hunter, building the best since 1886.
Spreads like buttercream, covers like royal icing. My everyday paint colors and combinations make decorating a piece of cake, and they're available at Sears and at Kmart.
If you're buying or selling a house, or you just want to find out how healthy your home is, you might want to bring in some professional help. I'm on my way to join Warren Camp, who, in addition to being our technical advisor for the House Doctor Show, is also a professional home inspector. We're going to find out just what these professionals look for. Hey, Warren. How you doing, buddy?
Ron, hi. Good to see you.
What are you doing down here?
Well, I'm taking a look at the...
Oh, those are loose.
Very loose. It's complete mortar separation.
Big problem?
I think so. This is a veneer on this building. It's not very well connected. In fact, I'd like to show you on the side here if I can.
Okay, this brick is a facade. It's not structural in this case?
That's right. It's strictly a veneer put on the face of the building. But I can move this very easily.
Oh, my gosh.
With a little tool.
Wow. Just sort of clear, so I get this clear in my own mind, when you go to inspect a house, you arrive, what's the absolute first thing you do?
Well, I like to step across the street and look at the facade of the building. It's important for us to know if this is a building that's suffering from deferred maintenance. We have to go in a lot more scrutinizingly, prepare a very thorough inspection.
Now, you say deferred maintenance. Is there anything on the front of this building that would give you would indicate deferred maintenance to you?
Well, certainly short of the mortar separation here, if we look at the garage door, this hasn't been painted for
yeah, of course,
15 or more years. Stile and rail separations, this is very, very weak.
So this says to you, this house has not been cared for. It may have, you may want to look a little more closely for serious problems.
Definitely
right?
So. Take a look at this rear patio area, Ron. The slope is rather significant. Unfortunately, it's toward the building as opposed to away from the building.
But what are you going to do about that? I mean, this says that we're on a hillside here. The water's going to come down this way. It's going to go to the building. And how do you handle that?
Well, if you can't terrace, which would be an effective way of stopping that water, you may want to put in a subterranean drainage system, some way that you can protect the foundation. You could also have the siding elevated so that there wasn't any chance that moisture would touch the wood.
So even though this is concrete right down here, you don't want this in contact with the wood.
That's right.
Because water would accumulate here, then be soaked up by the wood, or actually the wood would sort of
there's a chance it could wick, or there's a capillary action that permits the moisture to come up, and then possible decay would follow. So, Ron, as I mentioned before, the exterior is a really important thing that we want to be looking at. Take a look at the siding. Look at the line that it's got.
Oh, what a curve.
It also has some concavity. This is something that I want to pursue as we go down below, and it's a possibility there's some settlement just beneath this area. It's a possibility that the foundation might have cracked and perhaps has settled. There may be a framing failure. I want to look at a number of things when I see this.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic.
Take a look at this, Ron. This is a rear porch deck, outside stringer.
Oh, wow.
Hardly any effort.
Wow. This post looks suspicious. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
That's a goner.
So this really is maybe your candidate for replacement here.
Definitely, and this is a means of egress. You want to be able to rely on this to get out of the building, and you can't have something that's so weak or failed. Ron, this is a really important area for home inspectors. The foundation, the structural framing, we've got to have this stuff removed or it's totally inaccessible for us.
Okay.
Can we do that now?
Yeah, and I would imagine what it costs for you to be here would be better for a homeowner to do this before you get on site, right?
Definitely.
Okay, this is about the last of it.
Good. There, Ron, that's my point. If this hadn't been removed, we wouldn't have been able to see this. Significant cracking to the foundation. There's some loose stones. There's a stud here that's barely sitting on the sill. This is a weak spot, something that we should have seen, should have had the access to get to. And here's a real serious concern. Look how loose this is.
Oh, my gosh.
And going to the back corner is a concern here, a virtual head banger, and this is a flue, gets very, very hot. Ron, I have concern in the very rear corner of the building. This is a structure. We've got 2x6 studs, very little meat or beef in the very corner.
That should be filled in with wood?
It would be good to have had maybe two more 2x6s in here so we have some good mass. Okay. Here the foundation has been raised from the existing foundation. From here across here. With the crystallization or efflorescence that we see, it's an indication that moisture has come through at a lower level, and probably that's why this has been raised.
Okay, so that's water having come through the foundation from the outside.
Over time, yes, it crystallizes the lime in the cement. Now, Ron, here's a concern I have. We have a double top plate. It's an important member that's connecting the stud wall assembly. The plumber's come along and lobbed out, cut away a very important part of this and made this weak. It's something of a hinged wall at this point instead of one very, very contiguous wall.
Now, does this relate in any way to that problem we saw on the outside of the building?
Yes, as we saw from the siding and the slope on that siding, I think there's a relationship. Ron, sloping floors are an indication to home inspectors that there may be a consequence or maybe a cause downstairs, perhaps foundation-related, structural. I use a level like this, but in some cases it would be better if you used my little special device.
Oh, well, we've got a real problem there. Now, if a floor is sloping off that much, does that always indicate a serious problem?
Most cases it is. That's really significant for this to have moved, and I want to pursue what's causing that downstairs. Ron, here's a concern that we have, leak stains. There are many situations where you'd have them on walls or ceilings, but it's critical to know if this is a current stain or historic stain.
So anytime you see that, you're going to check it out?
I'm going to do it thoroughly. Inspectors use typically various electronic moisture meters. I'll show you how this one works. I'm going to be able to put my meter right on the stain. Be able to see that's excessive moisture content right now.
Well, that was very interesting. You know, if you're going to hire a professional inspector, I mean, what are some of the things you want to look for?
For sure, it's experience, perhaps 500 or more inspections. Someone that is ethical is someone who would not come back and do work on the property. You want someone with no secondary interest.
So no contractor-inspector combinations.
That's a conflict.
Yeah.
And thirdly is to have a written report. You want something that you can have documentation of all the findings of the inspectors.
And where would you go to find somebody like that?
Typically, it's the American Society of Home Inspectors that would have a membership as broad as 3,000 members across the nation.
Okay, so you what, look them up in the local phone book and try to contact their local chapter?
That would be the best.
Yeah. Warren, thanks a lot. It's very, very interesting.
I enjoyed it.
Every battery says they're better. One thing's for sure. With Railback, you get long-lasting alkaline power for less money. If you don't think they're just as good, you get your money back. You heard it here first.
Some people say I'm tough, and I admit I am pretty tough. On my kitchen, I demand performance, quality, and value. And my Aristocrat kitchen fits the bill. Good-looking specialty cabinets and convenient accessories that can stand up to the toughest workout. And now you can take advantage of special Aristocrat savings happening right now.
For free literature and the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-400-4265.
A kitchen is no place for wimps.
It's no fun to itch. That's why Owens Corning created Miraflex Insulation. It's made with a revolutionary fiber that's virtually itch-free. So it not only saves on fuel bills, it's more comfortable to handle and install. Use Miraflex Insulation because life is better when you don't itch. For a free sample of Miraflex fiber, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
Wherever introduces non-stick cookware that's safe for use with metal utensils. Thanks to the tough new DuPont Silverstone surface with Scratch Guard. Wherever. Where something new is always cooking.
Do you have plain painted walls and ceilings? We'll cover them up. Old ugly paneling? Cover it up. Cracks in your walls? Cover them up. Cover any room with Applique textured wall coverings. Applique is beautiful soft white, or paint it any color you like. And Applique borders add a great accent. So don't run for cover, cover it up with Applique from Imperial Wall Coverings. Available at major retailers and home improvement centers nationwide.
Tired of putting yourself in an awkward position every time you sand? Then try the new heavy-duty Detail Sander 2000 from Ryobi. Its unique arrowhead design gets into and under tight spots quickly and easily, eliminating those tedious and painful tasks like finger sanding. The new 2-speed Detail Sander 2000 and the original Detail Sander from Ryobi. Two sanders designed to get into tight spots, so you don't have to.
You know, sometimes when you're working in awkward spots like this and you get ready to put a screw in, it just won't stay on the tip of that screwdriver. Well, here's a little tip that might help you out. This is a magnet. It's designed specifically to magnetize a screwdriver blade. All you do is pass the blade through the hole in the center of the magnet like this, and then you simply can hold or balance the screw on the end while you insert it. Now, once you've finished, if you want to demagnetize the screwdriver, all you do is drag it along the outside edge of the magnet, and it restores it to normal.
Well, thanks for watching. Now it's your turn to roll up your sleeves, get out there, and tackle some of those jobs that you may have been putting off. And please join me next time when I'll have more tips and suggestions to make your next home improvement job just a little bit easier. See you then.